Hello again, Mark is back and I've got a follow-up video to the previous one. So I would recommend that you watch the first video about body paragraphs before watching this one. This will be a short one. Just to remind you, here we're only working on body paragraphs and this is in a cause-effect solution essay. First of all, remember we talk about developing and extending ideas, which you must do for a 7 or higher. If you go back, I talk a lot more about this in the other two essay writing videos. Remember, and in this video I'll show you more how more ideas can lead to better grammar complexity. We'll avoid the common links first of all, secondly, and again hopefully help you discover your voice. Enjoy writing, becoming a great writer in English, and probably it'll improve your writing in your first language as well. So let's get into it. Now, we talked in the previous video, we've got our about our thesis, two main causes and solutions. We showed the first body paragraph and the first problem, second body paragraph, second problem, and now the third body paragraph is our first solution. Now, it is possible that you could put the solution right here. So you could just start, have one body paragraph which has problem and solution. That's fine. But just to show how to develop this paragraph alone, we're going to do it as a single paragraph. Now again, remember that first sentence of your paragraph needs to be simple and clear. Please, please, please avoid complex sentences. If the first sentence begins with if or due to or because of, it's not wrong, but unless your sentence is perfectly clear, it could cause problems for the rest of your paragraph. So keeping a short, simple sentence as the first sentence is what I usually teach my students. It'll never be wrong and it'll be clear from the beginning. So here again, I've got a very simple sentence. Subject, verb, right? One way to solve the problem is to invest in cleaner energy. Again, simple. Solve the problem, clean energy. As I said, you could just start that up here, but I've decided to keep it separate, and then I'll show you how to develop it. Now remember, we talked in the last video about how to extend your ideas. All right, we talked about cause and effect relationships. We talked about why other people will disagree, and we talked about what happens if we don't do this. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. All right, so solve the problem, invest in clean energy, and then I explained this will lead to further research and the development of technologies that have a significantly lower carbon footprint. So again, I just wrote the effect. What will happen? Right? If we invest in clean energy, why will it work? Because there will be a development of technologies, and then I get specific: solar, wind, and even nuclear power. Then again, I explain the effect. So again, I've got effect, effect. And again, I'm not talking about the effect of global warming, I'm talking about the effect of this solution. Developing these techniques will make them cheaper and more efficient. All right. Then what we talked about here with these participle clauses, okay? Very key point with grammar. Comma, which makes them more attractive to consumers, all right? This is the beautiful piece of grammar, participle clauses, and it shows the effect. So you see, if you think about cause and effect, it's going to force you to use better grammar, or at least your teacher can give you feedback that will show you how you can use less common and more complex grammar, which you must have to get a 6 or a 7. Now, in the previous video, I used this one, resulting in. And again, that's one that you can use frequently and easily. Where is it here? Resulting in. All right. Here you can also see that just comma and ing, you're using the same grammar structure, but every time you do, it's a little bit different because the verb changes. And that's what's really great about participle clauses that show cause-effect. You can use it 4 times in one paragraph, and every time it looks different. So your grammar is not going to look repetitive, and you're not going to be using the same structures each time. So really take the time to learn these structures. In my other videos on IELTS Task 1, I do a lot of examples of this. So go back and check those out. Again, comma, making them more important or attractive to consumers. Again, what happens if we do? So I didn't say what if we don't, I said what if we do. If governments provide tax breaks to entrepreneurs in these sectors, we will see an increase in their growth. Again, simple sentence, but I'm still talking about investing, except it's a little different. I say investing is also tax breaks. Again, you're thinking, well, where do I don't know this, so why would I write it? Again, go back to the last 2 videos. Develop your ideas. Read about these topics. Watch TED Talks. It's 20 minutes, and if you just look at the problem, solution, cause-effect relationship, you'll see these. Again, I talk about how to watch a TED Talk effectively in my listening video. Please go back and look at that. It has a lot of useful information. Finally, I conclude the paragraph. The more government supports this technology, the sooner they will be commercially viable. So again, I'm not repeating the idea. I'm not repeating about, they will be more attractive to consumers and they will be more commercially viable. Again, a higher level vocabulary, even if your vocabulary is not that advanced. Again, the idea there is that you would say the more government support, the more we can use them, or the faster we will have access to them. So again, great piece of grammar here for concluding. The more, the sooner. All right, so it's another good piece of grammar to practice in your writing. Please avoid this. I used to teach this a lot, and it's just not very effective. It's just repeating the same thing. Thus, governments must certainly invest in green energy. I'm really just saying the same thing. And it's not wrong, but if you're not adding any useful ideas to the paragraph, it's just repetitive. And in the IELTS exam, the examiner can see that. If you're just repeating the same idea, your score is going to come down. If you're extending your idea in new ways, you're going to get a higher score. Now, again, I could even extend this, talk more about commercially viable. I could give examples. Again, because I've learned a lot about this topic, I can extend this. So it's not impossible. Anyway, I just did the 1 paragraph for you guys today. This is a short one. If you're interested, you could start with this topic sentence and finish that paragraph. All right, another solution is for individuals to reduce their consumption. Again, short and simple, reduce consumption. Now, it is a little bit repetitive considering what I said up here, but again, we're focusing more here on clarity, and everything after that is where you're really extending the idea. Anyway, just to review again, remember, you can't write an essay or, give a good answer in your speaking test if you don't have, carefully thought out ideas. So the more ideas you have, the easier these tests will be. Secondly, these easy to memorize expressions, they're not wrong, but if you're trying to learn English by memorizing words like that, you're going to be limited. All right, because you need to find your voice. Connect your ideas because they're connected. This is just very obvious, and I see a lot of times students who use these don't expand their way of thinking. So again, they're not wrong, but they're not going to help you get a high score. Clear topic sentences, again, very important. And remember, conclude a paragraph. Don't conclude the essay. All right? You're not writing a conclusion at the end. You're writing 3 conclusions. Every body paragraph should be concluded. Don't just wait till the end and then say in conclusion. Again, not wrong, but not great for the high score that you want. And of course, practice, practice, practice. That's the most important thing. if you're practicing on your own, or if you have a tutor or a teacher, get the feedback from them. Even if you're not using this technique and you've got another teacher's technique, get the feedback, fix the mistakes you're making, especially for accuracy. Like if you want to get correct grammar, you really need to get that feedback and then learn the mistakes you're making and try to stop making them. It won't be perfect the next day, but over a month of practicing, over 2 months, you'll see a lot of improvement. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an excellent day. Any questions, comments, or if you want to try writing your own paragraph, go right ahead and do that in the comments section. And best of luck with your IELTS test.